Venezuela's opposition says Saturday is D-Day. Leading that movement, Juan Guaido is calling on the masses to help trucks carrying U.S. aid to get in as Venezuelans struggle for food and medicines. President Nicolás Maduro has closed 3 crossings from Colombia. At least 2 people were killed on Friday after Venezuelan security forces opened fire on people trying to cross the border to Brazil. Several others were injured during the scramble to bring foreign aid after Maduro closed that border on Thursday.
As president in charge of the republic, I am demanding the borders be open. There is one question that is being asked today about Venezuela: how strong are the people? Well, more than 1 million people have volunteered to make sure the plan will be a success. United, the people will never be defeated.
Some of those injured in the police shooting were taken to Brazil for treatment. Venezuelans are increasingly finding ways to cross over, looking for help and hoping for relief. Mohammed Jamjoom has more from the Brazilian border town of Pacaraima.
An open display of resilience on a border meant to be closed. Venezuelans exhausted by their long journey to Brazil, but not too tired to gather, lowering their country's flag as a sign of mourning, singing their country's anthem as a symbol of hope. From another group of recent arrivals, though, expressions that ranged from anger to fear. First, calling for the ouster of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro.
Fuera Maduro! Fuera!
Alvaro Barroso says his group was driving through the Venezuelan town of Santa Elena when they noticed a commotion.
At the hospital, I saw one person was dead. I also saw lots of people who were injured. We were in the car and we stopped to see what happened.
He was told Venezuelan soldiers had opened fire on members of an indigenous community supporting the country's opposition. After ambulances transported some of the wounded to Brazil for treatment, amateur videos purporting to show the injured began posting online. A line of Venezuelan security personnel attempted to enforce Maduro's decision to close the border with Brazil. No small task, considering just how porous this frontier area is. So right behind us, that's Venezuela. We are on the Brazilian side of the border. The plan is for aid comprised of medical supplies and foodstuffs to be delivered to this point on the border crossing at some point in the next 12 hours. How exactly that aid will then get into Venezuela, well, that's still a bit of an open question. Brazil's army says medical supplies and food will be made available for pickup from here, beginning on Saturday.
We're going to respect the sovereignty of the Venezuelan territory. Our work is inside Brazilian territory. We will allow the trucks to enter Brazil, take the humanitarian aid, and go back to their country. This is our goal here.
At a shelter run by the army and supported by the United Nations Refugee Agency, some Venezuelans are relieved, but others are terrified. Franci Arteca worked as a paramedic in Venezuela. She says that even while earning that salary, she still couldn't afford food.
My family is on the other side. My idea of coming here was to try and make their lives better. But I don't know what will happen.
A sentiment echoed here again and again from members of a population whose only certainty is just how uncertain things continue to be. Mohammed Jamjoom, Al Jazeera, in Pacaraima, on Brazil's border with Venezuela.
Meanwhile, Venezuela's foreign minister has been holding talks at the UN to try to end the standoff. Jorge Arreaza met UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who is pushing for negotiations. He also met with diplomats from countries that support Maduro's government, including Russia and North Korea. Arreaza says the U.S. is using the aid effort to stir unrest.
El país está en paz y está en calma.
The country is peaceful and calm, but there are those directly from the United States who want to force situations, such as the one at the border with Colombia, and generate violence in the country, violating our sovereignty in such a way that the UN Secretary General is worried, as we all are, about whether violence will occur.
A top Catholic cardinal has